Okay, what we have here is Her Majesty's ship Prince of Wales, R09. This is a Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carrier. It's actually a little larger than 1/350th scale. I would have preferred 1/350th scale, but there isn't one available. I found this one available and was able to talk the company that made it into sending me one, which I then rebuilt to show what it ought to look like. And I will show you the type of planes that they sent with it later. But in the meantime, let's go in and take a look at this ship. There it is, the Prince of Wales. And as you can tell, I have put quite a bit into it, including all of the equipment on board, along with the F-35Bs that are Royal Navy F-35Bs. There's the forward island and the Merlins that they carry. I have a actual Japanese SH-60J that is visiting, and it's parked over there. We have an F-35B preparing for takeoff right there, and he's following the aircraft that is taking off right now. And we have a full deck load of aircraft here preparing to depart and take off. Here's another set. These are going to follow that aircraft. They are in takeoff mode with their vertical engines spooled up and ready to move forward in place. These four over here are awaiting. They'll take a second wave attack. We've got a couple more Merlins back here that are outfitted for, as you can tell looking at them, outfitted for anti-submarine warfare. As you look at this aircraft carrier, you can see the detail along the sides, the spools for the various types of hosing, both spools for firefighting as well as washing or whatever else it is they have to. We have also numerous life buoys and of course the life buoys, as well as the rafts, life rafts. Now back here in the back, I have put a couple things on here. The carriers came out without any self-defense. I thought it would be nice if they had C-Sceptors, so I put a 32-cell C-Sceptor launch on here, but it's not glued down. I'm going to take it off of there. There's what it would look like without it. They have now on the Queen Elizabeth put 3 phalanx 20mm close-in weapon system. There's one back here on the port aft quarter. They've got one up here forward on the port forward quarter. And then the third one is right over there on the starboard. I think I had those exactly opposite, actually, the starboard aft and forward quarter, and now here on the port forward quarter. I also decided for the Prince of Wales to put in 2 easily added weapon systems, 2 of them, to rolling airframe missile launchers. Each of these has 21 missiles and they could be bolted on and then guided by the radars and electronics on this ship. The United States has sold that system to numerous countries. The Japanese use them on their carriers. The Egyptians are using them. Saudi Arabia uses them. Here's the one on the back side. You can see the back of the aircraft carrier here, all decked out. We've got the Royal Navy flag flying back here on the aft side, and like I said, there's another Ram missile launcher here on the port aft quarter. Those two missile launchers would help vastly along with the three phalanxes, because each one carries 21 missiles that have a range out to about 8 miles, and they are very effective. Here's some more F-35Bs. I also put two Ospreys on this ship. I did it because I suspect that now with the Koreans, the Japanese, and others putting F-35Bs on their carriers, that the EV-22 AEW Osprey is going to be built. It has more capability than the CrowsNest that they've put on the MS2 Merlins, and having a longer distance AEW is absolutely necessary for carriers of any type, but particularly one of this size. The Royal Navy has built large carriers that are about 75,000 tons or more. And they've got two islands. As you can see on that island up front, and on the back side of this island, on the back side of the aft island, you have two more. They have these large LED type screens that give the status of air operations and maneuvering operations for the ship, what status that she is in. And so as you see the ship, you'll notice these, in actuality, these screens with writing on them. And this ship also has the newer, of course, radar, same radars that not the Horizon, but the Daring class destroyers carry, which is a very capable radar, and would be very capable of guiding these Sea Scepter missiles. Another place that we could put those missiles would be somewhere along, let's say, the forward part of the ship up here. Let me just lay that down in there, and there it is. They probably go up forward here, and there you have the Her Majesty's, the Great Britain's flag flying up front. But there's another possible place for the Sea Scepter missiles, and with the extended range missiles, you know, they could defend this ship out to a significant range, over 50 miles. So this is the Prince of Wales vessel, and it is a very good vessel, and it goes with the Queen Elizabeth. I'll put in the write-up the name of the company that puts this out, and you guys can go look at it if you want. I did want to show you the aircraft that came with the ship that I immediately took off because literally they're not really. For example, there's the version of the Merlin that they put out. This is the version of the F-35Bs. As you can tell, they don't even look like an F-35B, quite frankly. I told them they look like something that you might find at a dollar store. So I immediately took those off and went out and purchased through Shapeways and Snafu on Shapeways proper, very detailed F-35Bs that have both versions that are taking off vertically or at a short takeoff, as well as ones that have the engines in the full aft and up position. Also, from Trumpeter, I bought one 350th scale Merlin helicopters, added the torpedoes, and then I added some torpedoes for an ASW Osprey, as well as, more importantly, a AEW Osprey with a flying, radar up there on top. That design was presented to Great Britain, and sadly, and for whatever reason, they decided not to take it. As you can see, I've got quite a few personnel on the ship here. Let's see if we can get a little closer here and have this zoom in. I've got some 50 caliber machine guns on here, as well as 3 or 4 25 or 30 millimeter automated weapons to protect the ship in the event of let's zoom in back there and have this get squared away in terms of focusing. But I've got about something over 200 men on the ship, both on the deck, attending to the aircraft, all along the edge, guys here on the 2 elevators. I put the Prince of Wales insignia there on both elevators. I've got quite a few individuals on both islands. This aft island is for pry-fly, for flight control, and the forward island is for navigation. Although, as I understand it, both islands have the wiring and the capability to do both jobs. In case of battle damage, they have redundancy there, which is a very good thing, because you never know when you might have battle damage. We have up forward here a whole set of guys that have just put the flag up and are saluting it. You see a forklift there and a crane on the deck. Further back you can see some tugs for the aircraft. So here you have a very close to a 1/350th scale Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carrier that I wanted to show. And this carrier will carry about 50 F-35Bs. Probably in peacetime it'll go around with 30 or so, but it's capable of carrying 50, and that's very important. If there was a large war breakout, the United States would be happy to have 2 large carriers like this in alliance with it. As you will see, I intend to make another video after this. It'll come out the day after this one comes out, that has the entire carrier battle group. One thing I might say about that, and a fairly significant concern I have, is the defense of these, as you can see, large capable ships that have, a fifth generation air wing that cost, with 50 of them, billions of dollars. The aircraft carrier itself costs billions of dollars, and there's 2,500 souls, men and women, on this ship, very well trained. And so it behooves Great Britain, the United Kingdom, to protect these ships for the day and time that we live in. And we live in a day and time where a ship like this, if there was a major war, and we can't say that there won't be, you've got China building its navy very large and building carriers, and they're building their carriers to be able to face off principally against the United States, but also its allies. And they're building aircraft and ships that will try to overwhelm a carrier battle group with supersonic anti-shipping missiles. So you had best have a very strong anti-missile system. And the British do on the Daring class, the Type 45 class destroyers. The problem is that each of their destroyers that they have, the 6 or 7 they have, only carry 48 missiles. And that simply is not enough in today's day and time. They've got 2 carriers and 6 or 7 ships to protect them. They do have the F-22, which will be substituted in the 2020s with the Type 26, which will carry 32 or 48 missiles. But even then, if you had 4 ships guarding this thing with all of them at 48, you would end up with less than 200 missiles to guard this ship. And you may find, particularly if you don't have a strong AEW, for example, the United States E-2D can see out to close to 400 miles, and it has a very, very strong capability of seeing enemy aircraft before they ever launch their missiles. And that's what you want. You would rather take down one plane before it launches and becomes 6 targets instead of 1. And currently with the Merlin, the Royal Navy is just not capable of doing that. I would not send one of these ships out without being with the U.S. Navy carrier group that can see so much further. Better yet, I would spend the little extra money that you would need to spend to get these EV-22s that can see 300 or 350 miles out, and also be able to find those aircraft before they launch. Maybe not as good a chance, but a decent chance, and with the proper procedures, you can do it. And my biggest concern is, as you shall see in that video, what they have to bring to bear. They are very good ships. They are very modern ships. They just don't have enough missiles, guys, and they've got to get more. And I would recommend that they have 4, at least 3, if not 4, Type 45 destroyers with each of these, and at least 3 Type 26 with them. And then I would put a 32 cell launcher on this ship as well, so that they can protect themselves adequately, because it's a good ship and it's got a good air wing, and the air wing that they have is capable of taking on and defeating anything that the Chinese currently have. The current Chinese 5th generation aircraft is not carrier capable. You can bet that they are designing and planning to put one out now that all of our allies are putting F-35Bs on their carriers, and as we ourselves are putting them not only on our large carriers, which we have 11 of, but as we are also putting them on our LHA and LHD, the America class and the Wasp class, which we've already done. The Iwo Jima and the America have already tested with 20 or more of those aircraft. So this is Jeff Head. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will put the other one out very soon. This is the Prince of Wales R09 for the Royal Navy. Thanks a lot. Get your friends to subscribe. Thanks. Bye-bye.